Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Feminine Roadmap Health and Wellness. Today, we are doing video 3 in a 4-part series on skincare. Today's topic is the 4 Pillars of Ageless Beauty. And our expert is Christy Hall. She is a board-certified physician's assistant. She's the owner of the cutting-edge medical aesthetic practice, Skin Appeal, in Tucson, Arizona. She's the co-creator of Mikel Kristi Skincare and the author of the best-selling book, Your Beauty Advocate, a no-nonsense guide to age-defying skincare. So, Kristi, thanks for coming back today and giving us such powerful information. I really am excited about that.
Thanks, Jean. I'm excited to be here and to help educate everyone.
I think it's a really important part of being a woman is understanding our skincare. I know men need it too, but I think that when we talk about skincare, it can be very daunting. So why don't you share with us your 4 pillars of ageless beauty?
Sounds great. So let's first understand what are the signs of aging. I like to kind of split it up into what's happening in the skin and what's happening underneath the skin so that you have an understanding of how to achieve the outcome that you want with this. And so with skin deep, what we see with changes is collagen disintegration, which shows up as fine lines, wrinkles, large pores. We have the photo damage or a rosacea that shows up as redness, discolorations on the skin. We get brown spots and things that we just don't want to see on the skin surface itself. And then we have the underlying changes, and the underlying changes is good to understand because a lot of people try to fix underlying changes by working on the wrong level, working on the skin. So I like to really make that distinction so that you're going to get the outcome that you want as we approach this anti-aging process. So under the skin, this is where we lose the structural support of the skin, where we start to look tired underneath the eyes, our skin starts to sag down, we get jowls, we get downturn of the mouth, we get larger lines, we get wrinkles on the face, and all of these things that we just don't want to see. Or I don't want to see. So I kind of break this up, how do you achieve this ageless beauty or age-defying process, and this can be different for everyone. Everyone has their own unique beauty and you need to approach it in what manner that you want to kind of take from this. But I want you to understand, what it really takes if you want to look ageless your whole life. And I kind of want to achieve that myself. But with Skin Deep, we break this into kind of 2 levels. We have our daily care, which is our skincare, which we've talked about a little bit before. We're going to go in a little bit more detail about that. This is where we're nurturing the skin and feeding the skin the right ingredients every day. And then we need that deeper stimulation of the skin to really give us that deep collagen stimulation to reverse any sun damage changes that we've had or redness from rosacea or anything like that. We may need to do some lasers or some chemical peels or something on a deeper level, at least once a year, but maybe 2 to 4 times a year with that. And then we have the underlying support structure that changes. And the underlying support is the bone, fat, and muscle loss, which I'll show you in a few minutes. And that's where we start to sag down. So if we want to kind of help with that, we need to get underneath the skin and lift that back up. And then, of course, beauty always starts on the inside. Healthy skin starts on the inside. So we need to feed your mind, body, and soul by taking care of all of that. So with that, let's start with the skin. Your skin becomes dysfunctional as we get older. So if you think of a child's skin, it's beautiful, it's supple, it's smooth, it's functioning well, you never have to hydrate it. So how do we restore that in an older skin? And when I say older, anyone over 10 is going to have dysfunction with that. It definitely shows up more in your 30s and your 40s and so on. But we get the inefficient cell turnover, which causes a dead skin cell buildup on the surface. We get clogged pores from that. Our skin looks dull and dry. Sometimes we get rashiness. We get the collagen loss in the deeper layer of the skin. And that's where the fine lines, the large pores, and the sagging starts to show up. And then we also get the discolorations on the skin. So if we look at the skin structure itself, the epidermis, which is this top layer, in a younger skin type, these epidermal cells are lined up beautifully. And when in between these cells, when they're lined up nicely like this, they're producing their own moisturizer. And so when the skin becomes dysfunctional as we get older, these cells are kind of misaligned, so they can't produce as much moisture. So our goal in skincare is to line these cells back up so that now we're starting to produce our own moisture again. So a healthy skin really doesn't need a lot of moisturizer because it should be producing its own moisture in the skin. And then in the deep layer, we have the dermis. And the dermis is full of collagen and elastin, and this is what makes the skin bouncy. So in a child, if you kind of like pinch the skin, it's like, wow, this is nice and firm and thick. And we want to restore that in your skin as well. And so what happens is we need to build this collagen and elastin back up. And then the hypodermis is the deep layer of skin. This is not correctable with topicals in any kind of way. We need to get underneath the skin to kind of reinforce that, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So the epidermis is cell turnover is the name of the game there. And so that's what's making this top layer become dysfunctional, because in a child, this layer may be 10 to 14 layers of dead skin cells. In an older skin type, it may be 100 layers of dead skin cells. And 100 layers of dead skin cells, it's hard to create moisture in that, or it's hard to put moisture in that for it to make it look really healthy. So we need to increase that cellular turnover. So when you're young, like as a teenager, it's every 20 days that it's naturally happening. And you can see it up in your 60s, it's not happening but every 100 days. And that's why there's so much dead skin cells on the surface. And we need to kind of encourage that process to happen more rapidly. So basic needs of anyone's skincare is kind of what I've said. We need to increase that natural cell turnover. There's certain ingredients, we'll talk about that in a minute. We need to stimulate the collagen production to firm the skin back up, shrink those pores down, give us that nice supple, smooth skin again. And then we need to protect from the dysfunction of the environment. The sun and pollution and all these free radicals create a lot of damage in the skin. This may show up as skin cancers or pre-skin cancers, redness, brown spots, those kind of things. So we want to protect that as much as we can. The sun also breaks down collagen. So if we're building collagen, we don't want the sun to break it down too rapidly because you're just kind of fighting an endless battle there. So, you know, as we talk about like what ingredients are going to do this, collagen stimulation is exciting for most of us. We don't want wrinkles. We don't want large pores. We want that smooth, photoshopped skin. So the powerhouse ingredients that I love are retinaldehyde, vitamin A. Retinaldehyde is a type of vitamin A that's different from retinol, which is what you find in over-the-counter products. It converts to retinoic acid. Retinoic acid is what a prescription vitamin A is. Retinaldehyde is much more gentle because it converts to retinoic acid after it sinks into the skin instead of being on the surface of retinoic acid. So we get all the same benefits of a prescription type product without the irritation. So our Vital A serum in the Kristi line provides that. Vitamin C is a really great antioxidant. It also helps with skin lightening. So if you have any pigmentation changes on the skin, it can help with that. We have vitamin C in our Kristi C Radiance Moisturizer and also our Vital C serum. And then peptides and growth factors in our biopeptide serum, we call that our Photoshop in a bottle. That one really smooths the skin down quite nicely after a couple weeks. But these are your powerhouse ingredients. So whenever you're selecting skincare products to really stimulate collagen production, these are great ingredients to look for in any kind of product line. Of course, ours is great with that. Stressors, environmental, UV damage. First, ingredients like vitamin A, again, you can see it does multiple things. It helps with protecting from the free radical damage. Niacinamide, which is vitamin B3. Vitamin C is a great free radical antioxidant on skin. Peptides. So you can see how many of these ingredients do double duty. And so that's how you can make skincare very simple, and so that you're hitting multiple different things with that. We also need to make sure that we're wearing sunblock on a daily basis. The areas that age the most from the sun is your face, neck, chest, forearms, and hands. In older women, you'll see the skin on their forearms start to tear because the collagen loss from just chronic sun damage and just the lack of care over the years is what creates that. And so we want to make sure that we're protecting these areas every day, especially if you're in sunny places like Gina and I are, Arizona and California, with that. So SPF with zinc oxide. So zinc oxide is what you look for as the active ingredients in there. So with that, again, the Vital A serum, our biopeptide serum, our Vital C serum, so you can see how all of our serums are built to kind of work on multiple different levels here. Cellular turnover, or I call this natural exfoliation. When I say exfoliation, people think they need to scrub their face to death, and I don't like scrubbing the face. I don't want you using any kind of scrubby beads or anything like that. This should be an ingredient that gets into the skin and makes it do it itself. So those ingredients can be alpha hydroxy acids like glycolic acid, lactic acid, or beta hydroxy, which is salicylic acid. And again, your vitamin A and your vitamin B3. So you can see how vitamin A helps with all of the steps. And so that's always going to be kind of one of our main products to use on the skin. So in our Mikel Kristi line, we have our core collection, which kind of offers all of that. So it goes beyond just the basics of skincare. We get our cleansers, you get your toners to rebalance pH, and then you get your Powerhouse vitamin A, your peptides, and your vitamin C to kind of really help with all of that protection, cellular turnover, and helping with collagen stimulation as well. So after you've taken care of your daily skin by using, the right ingredients on the skincare every day, we may want to do something a little bit more aggressive to help on a deeper level. So again, having an understanding of what a skincare product can deliver you will keep you with the outcome that you're expecting. So if you're expecting to have skincare products that are going to tighten and lift and smooth all your wrinkles out, it's just not possible with that. So we need to have an understanding of maybe sometimes we need to go a little bit deeper into the skin. Plus, we know clinically and scientifically that if you do this deeper collagen stimulation or deliver certain light waves or lasers into the skin, it really helps halt and reverse the aging process quite significantly. One of my favorite treatments is called Forever Young BBL. BBL is a photofacial treatment. IPL was kind of the older version. BBL is the newer version. Stanford University did a study on this. They proved on biopsy that if you do this treatment at least once a year, your skin kind of reverse ages, which is really nice. So it really slows the aging process quite significantly. But if you have significant browning on the skin like this is photo damage. So these are freckles on the skin. You can lighten this up with skincare, but a faster way would be just to do a BBL and lift it all out. So within a week, all of that's gone. There's no healing time with it. And it really, helps kind of smooth out the pores. It helps even out the discolorations, the redness, the brown. And you can see like this treatment doesn't really reverse wrinkles, but when you don't have color around your wrinkles, you don't see the wrinkles as much. So evening out the color of your skin is a simple way to kind of hide wrinkles on the skin as well. And on this one over here with the redness on the skin, once we get this sort of redness, there's no topical product that's going to reverse redness. And the same with rosacea. Rosacea is just a bunch of vessels underneath the skin that are very reactive to heat, stress, those kind of things. So we get this kind of flushing heat sensation in the face, which I have, and sometimes it's annoying. But the way that we kind of shut those vessels down is we use the BBL to kind of destroy those superficial vessels because we don't need them. And then the skin looks less red. We get less of that flushing sensation. This may take a couple treatments to get under control, but usually if you just have brown discoloration, one treatment will clean everything up for you. So it's a really great treatment to do on the skin. Sometimes we want to start moving into deeper wrinkles and tightening of the skin. So there's other lasers that you can do. The halo laser is one of my favorites as well. It's really a safe treatment. It helps, you can see, even out her discoloration. And, like we talked about before, see how she has this patchy pigmentation? That's melasma. So the difference in what the previous picture showed was more kind of a distribution of freckling. This is more kind of a matted melasma discoloration. So there's certain treatments that work for melasma, certain ones that don't. I don't like BBL for melasma. I do like halo for melasma. But you can see how our skin is smoother and it has more lift in there. And then it also helps with wrinkles. So you can see how the wrinkle reduction is improved. And if we put you under the UV light, we can see the UV damage. And this helps kind of minimize that as well. And then deeper wrinkles on the skin, we are not going to get significant skin tightening with just skincare products. I mean, you can see like fine lines and crepiness and pores reduced down. But, if you have some deep lines and deep sag in your skin, don't buy a skincare product expecting it to give you miracles like that, because it's just not possible at this point in time. We usually have to have some healing time to get that kind of result. So one of my favorites is kind of replaced traditional resurfacing lasers like CO2 and erbium is one called neogen nitrogen plasma resurfacing. So we can get significant tightening. What it's doing is it's remodeling the skin. This one you do have healing time for about a week of peeling, but sometimes if you have this much change, you may need to just kind of reset the skin, and then you can easily maintain it with doing your skincare and really never need to do an aggressive treatment again if you kind of do the little things that I'm talking about. There's other great treatments, microneedling, there's radio frequency and ultrasound skin tightening like Thermage or Excellis or Ulthera, chemical peels, microdermabrasions, facials, all of those are going to enhance your daily skincare routine and kind of go into that deeper, like 2 to 4 times a year treatment to really give you those enhanced results with it. The under the skin change is where most people kind of get confused. So I don't want you to go and invest several $1,000s in a skin tightening treatment to try and treat an under the skin problem. And this is what a lot of people fall into, and they feel like they've gotten taken advantage of. They didn't get the results that they want because they want a lift through the jawline, and they're expecting a skin tightening treatment to do that. But you're working on the wrong level. And that's why I like to understand this. So under the skin, we all age the same way. When we're young, we have fat pads everywhere. As we get older, these fat pads start to shrivel up. So if you look at yourself and you have kind of hollowing or dark circles or bags under your eyes, it's because this fat pad is sitting here, and then you have a valley that's creating a dark shadow underneath there. This fold, most people come in, they hate the nasolabial fold, which is the fold right between the nose and the lip area. That happens because you've now lost the support that was holding the face up and back, and now it's falling down. So we have this fat pad sitting right here in this fold that's kind of highlighting that area, okay? The bone loss is the most significant for most people. As we get older, the eye socket gets larger, the bone loss happens across the brow bone and forehead. So we start to get lines here, we get deeper lines between the brows, our eyebrows fall down, so we get heavier lids. We lose our cheekbones, and you can see it becomes more narrow this way, but the skull also becomes more narrow this way. And so that bone loss just shrinks the skull down. And so as we lose the cheekbone, the cheeks fall down the face. So we look not quite as fresh and perky as we should. And then our jawline. The jawline significantly reduces in size. It shifts upwards, so then we get jowls and things falling down, loose neck tissue. So you can see that in this picture here. So I call it like a melting face. So you can see all of the changes. So the eyes falling down, we're getting droopy, we're getting tired underneath the eyes, we're getting the fold here. You can see the jawline's not as defined anymore. So the way that we fix these kind of changes is we got to get underneath the skin. And so Botox, Dysport, Xeomin, these are products that get in there. When we lose that structural support, muscles become too strong sometimes. And when we become too strong, sometimes we get this kind of like stressed out look a little bit with this constant furrow between the brows. If that's something that bothers you, doing a little Botox right in there is a quick, easy fix for it. Botox is not a filler. It's a protein that goes into the muscle, and it stops the muscle from contracting. So I can't move mine here. She's trying to move hers here. So it's an easy way to do a little bit of a brow lift, but actually soften that up as well. Fillers are going to always be your best friend if you really want to achieve the ageless beauty, because like I said, that underlying support is really what makes us look tired as we get older. You know, and some people this doesn't bother them, and that, again, this is kind of your choice. Like, how far do you want to take this? I want you to understand each level so that you can choose like how you want to approach this. Me, I want it all. Everyone is different with that, but fillers like Restylane, Juvederm, Voluma, Lift, Refine, Define. These are the fillers that I like to use. There are other fillers on the market. You need to know what you're getting. Some of them are reversible in case you don't like it or you have a problem, and some of them are not. So we need to understand, you know, what you're getting and go to someone that's very reputable in this. So all of these are made of hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid is one of those magical ingredients that people talk about in their skincare products. So what does hyaluronic acid do? It's basically in every cell of your body already. It's kind of a natural part of your body. It's a clear gel-like material. If you ever have like a joint injection, that's what they're putting in there, is hyaluronic acid to make the joints slide against each other better. Hyaluronic acid absorbs 1,000 times its weight in water, so it kind of plumps up the area. So that's why you can put it on the skin surface and we see a little bit of instant plumping. You know, it's again putting a Band-Aid on a problem, not fixing a problem. But we use the hyaluronic acid to inject where the fat used to be, where the bones used to be, filling in lines, kind of lifting up the face. And it usually lasts, you know, anywhere on the upper face, it lasts over 2 years. Around your mouth where you're moving it all the time, it'll last about a year. You know, so you can kind of get into a maintenance routine where you don't really have to do a whole lot of filler. And if you go to the right kind of person, you're not going to look like you've had had any work done. You're just going to look refreshed and no one's going to know why. So that's kind of the art behind this. My face is fully filled. I look better now at 47 than I did when I was 31. So I kind of like to say that I'm the example of aging in reverse with that. We have some deeper fillers that we call kind of the lifters that are going to pull up on the face, kind of like a liquid facelift. And those are like Sculptra and Voluma. Voluma is a thicker hyaluronic acid. So thicker hyaluronic acid can go in the cheeks and support the weight of the face. So it's going to hold that up nicely. It's kind of instant gratification. Everyone's going to ask you, oh, did you lose weight? Because your face looks thinner. And it really gives you that nice cheek lift and that nice definition. You can define the jawline through here as well with it. And then Sculptra is a little bit different. Sculptra is made of a lactic acid molecule, and it actually stimulates your own body collagen production. It takes time for that to happen. So all the hyaluronic acid fillers are kind of instant gratification, whereas Sculptra is going to take time, usually about 4 to 6 months to see the lift. But it's a really beautiful way just to kind of lift and pull everything up on the face. We can use it for cellulite, for butt lifting. You can use it on crepey skin anywhere on the body. So Sculptra is a great product as well. So this is an example of one of my patients, and this is how we approach the face. So if you came in, and like for her, she had a significant weight loss, and and her face looked a little bit gaunt because of that. So her complaint was the nasolabial folds. As most people, that's what they see, because they know they don't look fresh, they don't look what they want to look, and so they pick out an area that they think that's the problem. So if you notice, like if I would just have fixed this area with fillers, to me, she still would have looked tired, and she still would have looked too gaunt with this kind of indentation through the chin and the cheeks. So what I recommended is that we lift her under eyes and we soften up down here. So now we're starting to look more refreshed. And I didn't touch these folds, but because I broke up this kind of sunkenness here and sunkenness here, the folds don't look quite as dramatic. And so she was very happy with that. Now she personally wanted to achieve her younger look again. So it took us a couple years to kind of do a little bit of filler here and there to build her back up. But this is where she was when she was in her early 40s, her early 30s. She's now in her late 40s here. And so I've restored her face back to what it used to be by revolumizing her temple area and opening the eyes back up, continuing to fill out everything and making it look smoother. Again, a full face rejuvenation, everyone is different. You should be able to talk to your provider and tell them, and have a conversation of like, this is my budget, this is what I want to achieve, and then your provider should be able to kind of direct you in this area. So we freshened her skin up. For her, we wanted to invest mostly in fillers. So we spent a little bit less money. We didn't do a deep laser on her. So we kind of did definitely skincare on a basic level. And then we did a microneedling just to kind of refresh the skin. But here, this is Botox. So here, she just looks tired. And a little bit stressed. So Botox to kind of smooth this area out, filler in this area, filler underneath her eyes. Now, if she wanted these wrinkles to go away, that's when we would move into doing a laser treatment, okay? But they never bothered her, so we never worked on them, So again, it's like, how far do you want to take this? I put filler in her nose to make it look smaller and straighter, and I'll show you that on the side view. And then she has filler around her mouth and in the lip area. She's not perfect, but, she looks a lot more refreshed. And it's not about being perfect. It's just about looking, whatever your goal is, less tired, more refreshed. If you want to look 15 years younger, that's your choice. That's doable as well. And then you can see here how she had no jawline. Now I've started recreating a jawline. So filling that area there, pulling the cheek back up. The apple of her cheek is too low, so putting the apple back up where it should be, lifting the brows back up. You can see how her nose is straighter as well. And so that's how we restore the youthful kind of volume and the lift to the face, is with the fillers underneath the skin. Again, this lady, very nice lady. She has a lot of bone loss through the chin, the cheek, and the mid face. So that makes this fat pad underneath the eye kind of pop out and look quite tired. So building this whole area back up and then hiding the fat pad with the fillers can make a very dramatic change. When we do this kind of change, this can take a fair amount of filler to make this kind of transformation. but she doesn't need to do a whole lot to maintain it. So I may have done on her full face, I may have done 10 syringes of filler. She comes every year, does 2 or 3, and we're on year 6 now. She still looks the same. So you don't have to keep doing a whole lot once you get your face where you really like it. And then healthy on the inside, like we've talked about before, having a healthy diet. So plant-based, mostly healthy fats, lean proteins, low glycemic index. For most people, that's going to help restore their health, kind of detox the body, make it more alkalinic, less acidic. We want to make sure we're drinking a lot of water every day. Your skin is about 60% water, so we want to make sure that we're giving it enough to be hydrated. Exercise is really great for your body. It cleans out pores. It kills unhealthy bacteria on the skin. It increases the blood flow to the skin, so then we can detox the skin more aggressively. Mindfulness, meditation, kind of being in the moment, calming that down, being more on your parasympathetic instead of in your rush all the time, which I have a problem with as well. But, just kind of thinking from the inside out and nurturing the skin with that as well. So like I talked about, kind of working on those different levels, that those 4 pillars are your skin deep, which is 2 different pillars, this daily skincare, the deeper stimulation, the underneath the skin, and then feeding your mind, body, and soul. So if anyone would like to have more information on our skincare line, or even just kind of connect with me, go to skincaremk.com. We have a video concierge there. You can get our products. If you use the code MKRTribe2, you can receive 10% off your entire purchase.
That was an amazing amount of information, Kristi, and I really appreciate that overview, because I feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there. I know, like we've talked about before, with my years in makeup and cosmetics and skincare and all of the things connected to that, there's a lot of confusion. So for those of you who want more information, Kristi, you offer a complimentary conversation if anybody has any questions. Is that right?
Absolutely. I love to educate.
All right, awesome. So for those of you watching, if you will subscribe down below, click the links. I will have everything that you need, including that code from Kristi, in the link. So please reach out to Kristi if you have any questions. There's no obligation, but where there's a lack of knowledge, there's a lack of power. So if there's something you really need to know, please reach out to Kristi and allow her to be part of your journey to getting to where you feel good about yourself. If it's something small, just getting a good skincare system, you can start there. If you want to take those extra steps, Kristi is there for you as well. So thank you so much for joining us for our 3rd video in this series. We have 1 more coming. So please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Please share this with your girlfriends. Sharing is caring, my friends. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.